Denmark is a wonderful country, also when it comes to hunting. Partridge shooting with pointing dogs is always an experience. Flushing a fox out of his den is a real test of skills. Hunting the eider on the North Sea can be a cold experience. Driven shoots are a classical form of hunting. In the wonderful spring and summertime, there's game to be seen everywhere. We will watch expert fox hunters and highly skilled goose hunters at work. And of course, we're also going to take part in a driven shoot. And we take to the seas in a quest for the elusive eider. In short, we're going hunting. Sit down and relax. It's time to sound Start the Hunt.
Nogle af os har gået på jagt i, jeg ved ikke hvad, 60 år eller mere, og vi skyder stadigvæk forbi en gang imellem. Det er ikke bare noget, man gør. Det er jo derfor, det er sjovt.
Gustaf Ronholt is an experienced shooting instructor. His expert instruction gets the timing right before the opening of the season. September is a wonderful time of year. There's still a trace of summer in the air on this beautiful misty morning. We are guests at Paul Magnussen's hunting grounds on the island of Zealand in Denmark. The sun slowly burns the mist away. The warmth activates creatures large and small. Sven arrives at Paul's place by mid-morning. They have decided to check if the pigeons are active across the meadows. There's definitely nothing wrong with their expectations. Sven and Paul are carefully selecting the right spot to set up their hide and put out the decoys.
Så kan vi godt sidde ved siden af hinanden der, og kan se ud over, hvis stuerne de trækker her, ned fra bakken og ud over til sumpet og hen til træerne der.
The lush meadow attracts many species of birds.
Men ved du hvad, skal vi ikke starte med at lægge vores lokker ud? Så er det.
The hunters put out the decoys, while Juno patiently watches the proceedings. The hide is being constructed. The bright sunshine makes the hunter's face shine like a torch, so they both cover up their heads.
Men det her, det er også meget rart. Så er der en med myg og sådan noget. Ja, det er over i træerne. Det er ligesom om, at der er nogen, der sejler rundt derovre ved træerne.
Ready for the first pigeon. But why does it fly away? Guilty or not, Juno gets camouflaged. That eliminates that problem.
Bingo!
A good start.
Ja, kom så. Ud af hen, duen. Ja, videre. Ud.
Juno is very efficient, and as the marksmanship of the hunters improves, there's a lot for him to do. After a short while, Juno has become so muddy that he doesn't need his camouflage cover anymore.
Det var flot. Tak skal du have. Sikke en fin en, hva'? Ja, det var flot.
Pigeon shooting is great fun and an excellent opportunity to practice the cooperation between hunter and dog.
Det var flot. Ja, det var godt, ja.
Nothing tastes better than newly shot pigeons fried in a pan on a camp cooker. Mushrooms and fresh onions complement the pigeon breast perfectly. What about Juno? He's getting a well-deserved rest.
Den er varm på, som det er lidt primitivt. Ja. Den er en meget reelt kø også. Meget stærk kø.
A little bit of cream won't do any harm to an active hunter. Sven and Paul enjoy the special comradeship that is such an important part of hunting life. At the hunting cottage, many problems are solved over a quiet beer.
Og det der med, du sagde, at hunden måske der var et lille hul i en af duerne, er nu altså et havl.
Ja, det kan godt ske.
For han gnasker ikke i kød.
Nå. Det smager rigtig godt.
Ja.
A beautiful pond is the perfect center of any hunting ground. The ducks attract many other game species too. While the evening slowly settles, the ducks begin to become active. The pond complements the surrounding landscape perfectly, a perfect spot to sit and watch living nature all year round. Sven is the happy owner of this beautiful location. Over the years, he's enjoyed many exciting shoots, yet today, something is special. His daughter, Hella, has just acquired her hunting license. Tonight is her debut as an active hunter. Right away, some ducks take flight. But normally the ducks will soon start to return, so the hunters must quickly find their positions. The final instructions from her father and Hella is ready. A flock of teals fly by, but too far away to attempt a shot. The first real chance. A mallard drake is flying straight towards Hella's position. Alas, a miss. It would have made a perfect start. Hella is vexed. The 16-year-old shooter is normally a very good shot at the clay targets, so she's definitely capable. Another couple of mallards appear and they choose a deadly route. Success! Hella's first piece of game is silently floating on the pond.
Nå, Helle. Ligger du i anden ude? Hvad? Hvem flyver på en, hva'?
Hella fired a perfectly timed side shot.
Skal vi lige dø i kanten, hva'?
Nej, det var den.
Hvad? Nå. Prøv det. Skal vi... Skal du rapportere?
The dog is sent out to retrieve Hella's duck. No, Hella, the dog seems to think. It's normally Daddy that gets the birds. All hunters remember their first trophy. For Sven, it's a special treat to be there to celebrate his daughter's first. Hella admires her first trophy. The tail feathers of the mallard now adorn her hat. It's time for the driven shoots. Paul has invited Sven and he's engaged elsewhere. Instead, Hella gets the chance. The dogs know what is going to happen.
Velkommen til dagens jagt på Katrineholm.
Hella is all ears. Paul is the only one who she knows.
Hele dagen lovlige patroner. Og det vil sige, de såder vi har i skoven, der må ikke bruge stålhavl. På markerne er der frit valg af lovlige patroner.
The hunters prepare for the shoot. Safety is an all-important aspect.
Med hensyn til sikkerhed, så har vi det sådan, at der er nogen, der har lyst til at bruge det, så er der røde bånd, der er sikkerhedsbriller, og hvis der er nogen, der vil have høreværn, så kan vi få dem udleveret bagefter, inden vi går på jagt.
Each hunter is offered a red hatband to wear for safety. It makes them stand out clearly.
Her cirka. Du kan godt gå det ind og stå der, så får du lidt bedre skudchance. Og du husker, at du har et par bagskytter, en 30-40 meter bagved dig dernede. Så du skyder kun højre skud.
The captain of the shoot repeats the very important safety instructions.
Nu vil jeg håbe, du får lov på at skyde på særligt. Du skal stå her, og drevet kommer den vej, og du må skyde så snart der bliver blækket. Ja. Der går du ned.
Another debut for Hella, her first driven shoot. A lot of birds are flushed, but without presenting a chance for Hella. The dogs are doing a good job. The first drive is over. Time to retrieve the shot birds. Hella hasn't fired a single shot.
Det er en smykke i Ruben.
The shooters are having a good time, teasing each other between the drives. All the shot birds have been retrieved. It's time for the next drive. The forest has been painted in bright colors by the first frost of the fall. The expectations are high for the next drive, both among shooters and dogs. There's usually plenty of pheasants and ducks in this drive. Hella finally gets a chance for a shot. She reloads right away, but the drive is over soon after. Good shooting has resulted in a lot of birds, and spirits are high. The shoot is over. The shot birds are collected and placed on the game wagon. It's time to go back to the hunting cabin. After a wash, the dogs are fed, and then it's time to relax. The shooters also clean up. It's time for the traditional display of the shot birds.
Ja, så er vi samlet igen, og dagens jagt er slut, og vi har haft en god dag, godt vejr, god skydning, det ses på jorden der. Så det får I tak for en god dag, tak for sikker skydning.
Isn't it strange? In the summertime, there is always plenty of hares around, but when the open season approached, they seem to vanish from the surface of the earth. Generally, the number of hares has declined. Only a few years ago, more than 100,000 were shot every year. Now the number is down to just over 100,000. Although huge areas of Danish moorland was plowed around the beginning of the last century, one can still find pockets of this unique habitat in a completely unspoiled state. This year, the heather has been blooming prettier than ever, and Jesper has enjoyed many good walks accompanied by his dog. The summer is coming to an end. We are at Dybjerg Heath in western Denmark, one of the largest remaining moorland expanses in this country. This is partridge country. The partridge population has benefited from the dry summer, and now it's time to harvest the surplus. A recent shower, though, makes it difficult for the dogs. You can't be successful every time. After scattering the covey, the hunters concentrate on single birds. In the company of experienced dog handlers, Jesper is enjoying a fine day on the moors. A pointer is able to cover a lot of ground in no time, but it's efficient work. The dog picks up the scent of a partridge and quickly locks in a pointing position. Jesper's second shot sends the partridge to the ground, and the dog retrieves the bird very nicely. The pointer continues to search for birds. Good shooting. Another bird is bagged. German shorthairs are also popular for this kind of terrain. But in this case, the bird had already flown. This is as good as it gets. One dog is pointing while another one assists. This is a sight that every dog handler likes to see. Lona celebrates the successful outcome. This is one of those days where everything seems to work out as planned. Hunter will follow hunter for generations to come on this, the last remaining uncultivated Danish moorland still open for shooting. It's early morning over the tidal waters of the North Sea, an area of international significance for migrating birds. The hunters have positioned themselves amongst the decoys, sometimes up to their waist in water. Normally, migration peaks at early dawn. Plenty of eider decoys have been put out to attract the birds. This form of hunting is only allowed in the tidal zone of the North Sea. Since 1967, wading has been illegal in all other Danish waters. It has taken the hunters more than an hour by boat to reach these sandbars where they're able to touch bottom. It's a dangerous form of hunting, and a motorboat must always be close at hand. The first birds appear over the decoys. The white camouflage jackets make it difficult for the eiders to spot the hunters. Wounded birds are quickly dealt with. There's no reason to save on the cartridges. If a wounded bird is capable of diving, it will do so immediately. The hunters must be ready to shoot as soon as the bird surfaces for air. Shot birds are also used as decoys. The decoys are rearranged as the tide changes. The motorboat assists in picking up the shot birds. One of the most important things is being able to judge when the birds are out of range. But if they are close enough, they are no match for the experienced gun. The weather at sea changes quickly, and the hunters know that they must be careful. The wind is picking up, and as the forecast is bad, the hunters decide to call it a day. The motorboat has picked up the hunters, and they're now heading for dry land. Sometimes a cold beer and a lunch pack taste better than anything. This is one of those occasions. We are now close enough for the flatlands to provide shelter, and soon after, we're back in safe port. Everybody lends a hand. It's been an unusually successful day with 34 birds. A day for Sven to remember. Nothing really compares to the experience of standing waist deep in the North Sea while a band of eider rapidly approaches. Another traditional way of hunting the eider is by motorboat. Motorboat hunting is one of Sven's favorites, and today he and his friend Henrik are going to try their luck on the coastal waters south of Funen Island. Warm clothing is necessary, as are life vests. In Denmark, the use of life vests is compulsory when hunting from a boat. The weather is perfect. A moderate wind, just strong enough for the eider to take off into, but not enough to make sailing unpleasant. Hunting from a motorboat is legal from the 1st of October. Any boat used for hunting must not be capable of doing more than 10 knots. And while hunting, the maximum speed is 3 knots. The secret of motorboat hunting is to wind your way towards the bird, slowly enough not to cause them to take off too soon, but fast enough to keep them from swimming away from you. This is how it should be done. Steel shots are okay at moderate range. It's important to keep one's eyes open all the time. Flyers appear out of nowhere. Notice the wake. The trick is to approach the birds by spiraling around them until they're forced to take off alongside the boat. It's important to follow up a wounded bird immediately. Hunting at sea is very popular in Denmark, and one can easily understand why. There's usually plenty of action and lots of rewards, and in addition, it's cheap compared to other forms of hunting. Practicing is important, and a portable clay pigeon machine is a very handy tool. It's easy to set up and can be used anywhere. One hunter operates the machine while the others shoot. The shooters try every angle. The Dewmatic machine is battery operated and very well made. The dog was left at home. He's happy that Jesper is back.
Honey. Kom.
We are back near the North Sea coast at a location called West Stadel Inlet. The agenda is goose hunting. In the spring and autumn, huge flocks of grey geese and pink-legged geese migrate along the west coast of Denmark. As many as 40,000 geese have been sighted at one time at this location, and naturally, so many geese also attract hunters. On 5 locations along the west coast, the Danish Game Department has put up special feeding facilities for the geese. Every year, several hundred tons of grain are fed to the geese in order to prevent extensive damage to the farmers' crops. As a rule of thumb, you must be able to see the eyes of a goose before it's within range. This flock is allowed to pass. Jesper and Sven are patient enough to wait for a better chance. These Canada geese look a lot more promising. The Canada goose has been very successful in Denmark in recent years, and the species is constantly expanding its range. This is a situation which must please every hunter. It's late fall in Denmark. A thin layer of snow heralds the coming of winter. There's not much game to be seen right now, but not because it isn't there. But it's important to conserve energy now, and therefore the game tends to move very little. The hunting season is coming to an end, but there's still one exciting possibility left: the fox. Fox hunting is always a challenge, and Jesper has gratefully accepted an invitation for a few days hunting with John and Henrik. They have quite a few artificial fox dens in the area, and every year they bag dozens of foxes. Jesper is put in a prime position, right next to the exit from the den, and as we shall soon see, it's a demanding post. Jesper is letting his mind wander and looks away for a moment. But still manages to get a shot away after the fast-fleeing fox. A miss? No. Jesper's shot was deadly. The terrier has located the dead fox in a cluster of willows. The two terriers get their share of the fun. After all, they are the ones that flush the foxes out. Now it's a different location. This time it's Sven's turn to be at the front line. The dog handlers make a little detour, and Henrik places the guns so that they can fire without putting each other in danger. This den is placed in an overgrown dike between two fields. This should make things a little easier than at the den where Jesper shot his fox. The terrier, Thor, has caused the demise of many a fox, but this time his companion gets the job done, successfully. A perfect shot that kills the fox in his tracks. Sven and Jesper can only be pleased with the way the day is unfolding. The terrier makes sure that the fox is totally dead. The hunters have visited quite a few empty dens, but that doesn't stop them. They have placed the artificial dens in the open land for two reasons. Firstly, because the foxes willingly take to these dens in the early mornings after a night's hunt, and secondly, because the open fields provide a free shot in all directions. In addition to the many artificial dens, the hunters know of several natural dens in the area. Normally, all the dens are checked once a week during the fox hunting season. Again, Sven has been granted a master post. This time, Henrik's German Terrier is put into action. Are they going to be lucky this time? Yes, indeed. It's important never to fire at the fox before it's totally clear of the exit from the den. A quick reload, there may be more. The terrier is still barking. The second fox gets away unharmed. It was impossible to fire a safe shot with a terrier so close to the fox. The scene you are now going to watch is quite unique, so watch closely. Yes, Jesper is really mad at himself, but sometimes things don't just work out as planned. This time, the fox was the lucky winner. Another den, another fox. Jesper is fully alert, ready for action.
Det står en Jesper, det kommer en til.
The two foxes appeared within half a minute of each other, and now they are both lying dead among the bushes. Jesper has really made amends.
Til lidt med dem.
Jo, tak. Nej, så skal du være. Den der, nej, kom.
All is quiet at the hunting grounds now that the season has come to a close. Now it's time to think about winter feeding the game and about predator control. Paul and his friends have decided to try to limit the number of carrion crows in their area. The imitation of an aggressive crow's call is very effective. Soon, the first crow bites the snow. The Labrador quickly retrieves the shot crow. The dead crow is put up as a decoy. That's how easy it is to make your own, very natural-looking decoy. A light fog can be an advantage when hunting crows. The fog conceals the hunters so that the sharp-sighted crows cannot detect them. Nice going. One less crow to prey on next season's game. One by one, the crows appear. This is just perfect. They seem to concentrate totally on the decoys and the crow call. This scene demonstrates why it's so important always to have a trained retriever at hand. One happy dog, 2 satisfied hunters, and 15 dead crows. Not a bad morning. The mixed bag is full, and the small game season has come to an end. We hope you've enjoyed this quick view into a typical Danish hunter's year. We are grateful that we were allowed to share the first big moment in Hella's hunting life, her first mallard drake. Paul enjoys the company of fellow hunters and skilled dogs just as much as the hunt itself. Like Paul's wife says, from the 1st of August till the end of February, Paul doesn't accept any invitations to go out. He's always away hunting. A good miss is lodged in the mind for a very long time. Jesper will probably never forget this one. There's no doubt that many exciting hunting experiences await Hella at Paul's wonderful hunting area. Hunting in the tidal zone of the North Sea was a thrilling and chilling experience for Sven. Thanks to all who participated in the making of this film, to all the hunters who took us along to share their triumphs and defeats at the hunting grounds across Denmark. The outcome of any hunt is even more unpredictable than the weather, and any hunter, wherever they go, whatever they hunt, the only thing they can be sure to bring back is happy memories. Good hunting.